Dear Hyeri has received a lot of backlash even before airing for its controversial cast, but as the series progressed, things only got worse with viewers complaining about several aspects of the drama. The series is centered around Ju Eun-ho, played by Shin Hye-sun. She's an experienced announcer, but she struggles a lot in her life and career. After experiencing trauma, her mental state deteriorates and she develops a much more positive personality with the name Ju Hyeri. Meanwhile, her ex-boyfriend Jung Hyun-oh, played by Lee Jin-wook, is much more successful but also hides his emotional wounds. As the two reunite, they try to help each other overcome their issues. The premise of this drama seems quite interesting, shining a light on mental health issues such as dissociative identity disorder and promising to show Eun-ho's healing journey. However, according to many viewers, the series ended up being a huge disappointment with messy writing, confusing developments, and an inaccurate portrayal of mental health issues. One of the main issues of the series is that it follows the typical formula of a romantic series that we've seen countless times when it was instead marketed as a much more unique healing drama. The storyline completely fails to deliver on this promise and it quickly becomes predictable and boring. The final 2 episodes have been especially criticized as the series seems to struggle to find enough content to keep the show going and becomes really repetitive. The characters and their evolution over the course of the series have also been heavily criticized. The only positive aspect is Hye-sun's acting, as her great performance in the role of Eun-ho made viewers care a bit about the character's journey. However, this wasn't enough for people to ignore the bad writing of the series, with some fans pointing out that both Eun-ho and Hyeri feel like caricatures, while others described them as too over the top and even frustrating at certain points. Jin-wook's character has been criticized even more as he becomes more and more unlikable with each episode. Throughout the entire series, Hyun-oh kept rubbing viewers the wrong way with his selfishness. He often hurt Eun-ho with his words, but despite this, his actions are portrayed in the drama as being good for the female lead, which doesn't make any sense. With no character development at all, Hyun-oh doesn't change his behavior towards Eun-ho, and this aspect disappointed viewers so much that many even dropped the series midway just for this reason. Additionally, despite how much Hyun-oh hurt her, Eun-ho still gets back together with him in the end, making the whole thing feel extremely forced and unbelievable. Many viewers actually expressed that they wanted to see Eun-ho developing a relationship with Ju-yeon instead, who's the second male lead played by Kang-hoon. Unfortunately, he is soon overshadowed by the much more unlikable Hyun-oh. Actually, many viewers not only dislike Hyun-oh for his actions in the series, but also because of all the controversies surrounding Jin-wook. After years as a popular celebrity, his reputation was destroyed by a scandal in 2016 when a woman filed a report to the police claiming that Jin-wook had forced himself on her. He immediately denied the accusations and sued the woman, sparking a long legal battle that went on for years. The opinions of netizens were initially divided, with some saying that they would never expect this behavior from Jin-wook, while others didn't believe the accusations at all. However, soon public opinion began to turn against Jin-wook, especially after he appeared at the police station smiling like everything was fine. This prompted a lot of backlash, with many pointing out that the situation was very serious and there was nothing to smile about, as he could face time in jail. As the police investigation went on, more and more details about the incident were revealed. Allegedly, Jin-wook and the woman had dinner with a mutual friend, but then went their separate ways. Jin-wook apparently later called the woman multiple times, offering to fix the broken blinds in her house. The woman then texted him her address, and Jin-wook arrived at her house past midnight, remaining there for 2 hours before leaving. However, it's not clear what happened when Jin-wook was at the woman's house, and the two parties provided different versions of the story. According to an anonymous source, Jin-wook developed an interest in the woman as soon as he saw her, and when he arrived at her house, she was wearing an allegedly revealing outfit. it. This source claimed that this resulted in consensual contact between them. After this new report came out, the woman admitted that what happened was consensual, and Jin Wook celebrated his innocence, confidently thanking his fans for their support. However, many netizens weren't happy, and some claimed that having a one-night stand with a woman he just met was already enough to ruin his image. In any case, the incident seemed to be resolved, but then the woman retracted her previous statement. She argued that the investigators forced her to say that the accusations were false, so the case was reopened. After months of legal battles, the woman was booked without detention under the suspicion that she had made false accusations towards Jin Wook. However, the court later ruled in her favor, declaring her not guilty and arguing that her relationship with Jin Wook might have happened without her consent. According to the ruling, Jin Wook didn't ask for consent, and the woman never explicitly agreed to what happened. Jin Wook appealed the sentence, and the verdict was then overturned, with the woman being sentenced to 8 months in prison with 2 years of probation. This new ruling caused a lot of controversy, as it argued that while the relationship might not have been consensual, there was no proof of this, and Jin Wook didn't threaten the woman. This odd reasoning sparked a heated discussion in South Korea about how consent works in the country's laws, but the case was closed nonetheless. After this scandal, Jin Wook continued his career as if nothing happened, but netizens never forgot the controversy. In fact, the scandal was brought back under the spotlight when Jin Wook was revealed as part of the cast of Dear Hyeri. Since the series was already being marketed as a healing drama, many viewers felt disgusted that Jin Wook was appearing in it, with some pointing out that his presence was traumatizing rather than healing. With the controversial way in which his scandal was closed, many believe that Jin Wook is actually guilty, and the victim of his actions went to prison instead of him. So even before Dear Hyeri began airing, many expressed discomfort about the series, calling for a boycott. The outrage only grew as the drama approached its first episode. In fact, despite the airing date being only a few days away, many netizens still wanted to see Jin Wook being removed from the series. Many also felt sorry that Hye-sun had to share the screen with him, while others argued that Jin Wook is also a bad actor with no facial expression. Already marked with controversies, the debut of the series didn't make things better. Quite the opposite, many viewers expressed their disappointment with how the plot developed ever since the first few episodes, with netizens describing it as slow, boring, and frustrating. Most fans believe that the story progressed too slowly, leaving too much to be understood. Some netizens were optimistic that the series could improve over time, but this wasn't the case, and instead it only got worse as new episodes aired. A lot of viewers left the drama entirely after just a couple of episodes, while others endured until the end, only to see the series fall apart completely. Among its many problems, the worst aspect of the plot is that the much anticipated healing process of Eun-ho is basically non-existent, as she seems to be suddenly healed immediately after getting back with her ex-boyfriend. In fact, the way Eun-ho's mental health issues have been portrayed has been heavily criticized, and the drama has faced a lot of backlash for trivializing serious problems. At first, it seemed like Eun-ho's disorder was going to be presented from a scientific perspective, and the way the health issues developed felt logical and compelling. However, the plot of the drama soon turns to focus on the love triangle between Eun-ho, Hyun-oh, and Ju-yeon. The mental health issues become a secondary aspect, and even the characters don't seem to care too much about it. In a very controversial scene, Hyun-oh discovers Eun-ho's illness, but instead of worrying about her well-being, his main concern is whether she's dating Ju-yeon. In another frustrating scene, Eun-ho imitates Hyeri's gestures, even without her identity, just to make Ju-yeon happy. This felt like an insult to Ju-yeon, who sincerely loved the second identity of the main character. The inclusion of random comedic moments intended to lighten up the mood has also caused a backlash, as these scenes were deemed by many viewers as inappropriate rather than funny. Overall, viewers and critics have pointed out that the drama failed to portray mental health issues properly, and serious problems became shallow and without depth. Some have even argued that the series could have been saved by an accurate representation of the psychological problems of the protagonist, but unfortunately, this didn't happen. With all the issues and controversies surrounding it, it's no surprise that many viewers disliked Dear Hyeri so much that it's even being called one of the worst K-dramas ever.